The first artist I fell in love with was probably Avril Lavigne. I was about 7 years old, and I remember going to a concert of hers in like Germany where I was living at the time, and I fell asleep halfway through. Hi, I'm Jade Bird, and these are my firsts for NME. Well, the first CD I bought, so my dad was I've got quite young parents, and they used to like burn CDs. Like they were the ones that when the big advert came on, it was like, if you pirated a CD, you will go to jail for 20 years. You know, it was probably my parents that should have gone to jail at that point. The first CD I would have bought, I honestly can't tell you if I ever bought a CD. Because my mum used to buy the divas and then my dad used to burn me the rest. So rubbish answer, but I genuinely don't know, in all honesty. My first ever job, I tried to get in with my friend on a paper round because I didn't want to go to school alone. And I think that might have been my first ever job. But because I was gigging from so early on, I was gigging from like 13, I never really had the job until I was like 16 doing waitressing. So yeah, I'd say paper round, but my friend got paid and didn't split it with me. So can't count as employment, yeah. The first song I finished writing, it's really hard to say because I kind of branched out. So I used to write a lot of stories, poems, plays, everything. And then when I found the guitar, it could really match. It felt like it was something I could play and translate. But I used to play certain piano songs. The one I vividly remember is being like 12 and writing this song called When You're Alone. It was very morbid when I was young, and it was a very morbid song, so yeah. My first ever gig, I think I used to play in this so I used to live on the south coast of Wales, and it was a very small, I can't even explain to you how small pub, and I'd been set up with like this dress on and my guitar, my Taylor guitar, and it had like fairy lights all at the back, like a proper pub vibe. And I remember playing a few covers, you know, a few originals, and that was me. I think that was my first gig, yeah. I would have been about 13, I think, when I did my first one, which is surprising because I couldn't really play a lot of pubs when I was that young, but I managed to get my way into that one at least, yeah. See, the first festival I went to, I've got a friend who's like super bohemian, and her parents used to take her when she was like 3. But for some reason, my parents never really took me to any festivals, so I think it must have been something. I think I might have just played the first festival I played. The one that was the big one with like Lumineers and stuff, and I think Stevie was on. Yeah, British Summertime. I think I played the first festival I probably did. I can't remember. Maybe Kendall Calling when I was a kid. I never did the Reading and Leeds thing. No, I've not played Reading and Leeds. They don't like women, do they? Yeah, no, not yet. Yeah, hopefully this year or next year. First time I heard one of my songs on the radio, oh wow. When I went to America, I used to be able to hear it, in the studio when I was doing it. Randomly, I think it was in a supermarket over the radio, I was in some sort of American supermarket, I think, and it was the weirdest sort of super weird thing ever, walking through the aisles and hearing my song. I remember being with my stepdad though, we were driving one day and I think it was Lottery or I Get No Joy. And I remember him little bald head singing with me, and it was a very sweet moment of because he used to drive me to all my gigs, hours and hours and hours. So it was a nice moment when that came around. The first artist I fell in love with was probably Avril Lavigne. I was about 7 years old, and I remember going to a concert of hers in Germany where I was living at the time, and I fell asleep halfway through. So I don't know, she still remains a favorite of mine, but I was very rude audience member, 7-year-old, yeah. The first thing I'm gonna do after Different Kinds of Light is released, I'll be at a record store in London. I'll be doing it. I think after the campaign's finished, the first thing I'll do is come home with my dog and wrap up and congratulate, because she doesn't care what I do or who I am. She's just yeah, love you mama. So probably that, but yeah, I'll be at a record store tour when it comes out the day of probably, so that's what I'll be doing.